Young ladies and gentlemen, hello everyone, or good evening. Things are really heated on Donald Trump. Donald Trump was so scared. Foreign countries such as Russia, China, and Pakistan, which have recently used for demonstrations of power, who do not speak their name, so much so that it lowered the standard strategic of the United States of America. Donald Trump has decided to break with the American doctrine that dates back more than 30 years. A doctrine according to which one don't go and say a doctrine, a law since it was at the end of a treaty that America has pledged never to conduct nuclear tests. So Donald Trump decided to break off the relationship with this doctrine, this law, and he ordered international nuclear tests. And he himself confirmed it. That is in complete violation of the moratorium of 1992. You can therefore understand that the situation has reached its epilogue. Russia is testing missiles. Russia I'm going to try the brew. It comes from them to confuse. So they decided to also move on to tests to show that they always retain the advantage, strategic superiority. That's what it is. Word to show that he retains supremacy. But what will the result be? Even before talking about the repercussions, let's go into the depths. Let's see the information from Fonta is packed, and behind the advertisements, we will return so that we can obviously communicate about it, right? To be able to, to elaborate. But before we continue, the principle is to agree to share the maximum conference time. Put in a lot of effort, like as much as you can, share as much as you can, and always leave a review in comment. And if this is your first, I've had several times to stumble upon my conference. Thank you. To subscribe. Subscribing allows you to don't miss our video conferences. Let's go into the depths. Donald Trump made this announcement which shocks the world. Donald Trump ordered the Department of Justice to the war. The Ministry of the American Defense Establishment has changed its name. The ministry has changed its name. It's Donald Trump who recently changed the name by changing its ministry name Defense at the Ministry of War, since Donald Trump wants peace according to him, but on the contrary, he is in preparing for war. He ordered to the Ministry of War to relaunch immediately nuclear tests. This is the result of what Kim Jong-un, he did it. We talked about it yesterday. No, it is the result because he says, but how can a country like North Korea can conduct nuclear tests? And it scares us. Why not us? Others. Therefore, we need to conduct tests nuclear to show that we are always the only masters of the field. Let's see what happens. Hear what Donald Trump said in substance. He said this, because of the nuclear test programs conducted from other countries, I ordered the War Department to proceed to trials on an equal footing. So he wants it, he ordered it that the Pentagon or the Department of Justice Defense conducts nuclear tests on an equal footing. Just like the others do, they must do it too. And I'm telling you, that's completely true. Flagrant violation of the moratorium 1992. We'll get there. So he continued, saying that is to say, it is he said his trials will be international. That is to say, to carry out in direct response to the activities of Russia and China and Pakistan. Well, he didn't mention the North Korea, right? There you go. But these are countries they accuse of testing new nuclear delivery systems, and which obviously make the United States of America. So clearly, as I was saying at the outset, America had just broken with the 1992 moratorium. This moratorium, it must be said, dates back to September 1992 in Nevada. That was the last nuclear test. Since then, they have been doing, but they have not trials. And so it must be said that this decision marks the end of a diplomatic taboo over 30 years old, and it's a blow hard, which is carried to treaties a complete ban on testing nuclear weapons. This treaty prohibits them. Nuclear tests, since the tests, nuclear, it's an arms race. And that's why they decided to stop nuclear testing. The way in which America and the West are tiring Russia and its allies. The Russia and the allies said, we don't care about that. We're going to do our tests and we're going to show how many times we are powerful. And Russia, these ANSI, has managed to establish his reputation with the extremely successful test of Buresten, the Burevon missile. And then just yesterday, Putin went out to develop other skills, lunar missiles for Vestik. So, all of this when Russia and its allies are boasting about the merit of their differences, of their different weapons, and that America does not be unable to offer praise of his own weapons, it becomes complicated. That's why he ordered nuclear tests in complete violation of the 1992 moratorium. So what America stopped 30 years ago, that's Donald Trump is here to revive the issue. So Washington justifies this return by the need to guarantee superiority American strategic approach to that which she considers a coalition emerging Russian-Chinese nuclear program. Donald Trump believes that there is now a coalition nuclear, an emerging nuclear coalition, Russian-Chinese alliance with their allies since Iran is conducting tests. Pakistan is doing tests. North Korea, she just did it. She's incendiary. It is a nuclear escalation that is announced since, as soon as America goes to proceed, the others will understand. Okay, agreed. Now, we're in the race for trials. It's not a big deal. Even those who they had everything in reserve, they're going to bring it all out to test. So we will witness a nuclear escalation. The Kremlin has immediately denounced as madness strategic thinking that Washington opens the door to a new race nuclear weapons. For the Kremlin, it's madness strategic. America is in the process to open the door to a new race nuclear weapons. China, for its side, warned that any militarization, nuclear power will lead to contingencies fast. I'm telling you that Russia and China and their ally are ready to France. Even though Donald Trump succeeded to meet Xi Jinping, we will to talk about it. But it didn't work. Too much like the American president thought. So China has said there will be rapid countershores, notably by the deployment of hypersonic systems defensive. And so the analysts are talking a new era of deterrence aggressive deterrence. See two opposite words, but which are together. We'll come back to that later. Thank you for sharing the conference. It was the voice of your humble servant.